Hello everyone and welcome back to Live with Brinkofspeed and Octane Hour. Tonight you have me, myself, and I. Darren actually had a prior commitment and so did Mark. So it's just me all by myself. I'm at the house and we're going to get started here soon. Let me get this pulled up so I can make sure that everybody can see me just fine. And let me get the camera adjusted properly. Can everybody hear me okay? If you can, give me a big thumbs up. And let me get my comments pulled up here. All right, I got my comments. Okay. All right, let's say hello to everybody. We had some early birds in here. We had Stephen Rapp, we had the Good Doctor, we had Diego, we had Everjeff, New Angle Photo and Video, Caleb, Omid R, Mike K. Let's see, who else we have here? Joe, we got Doug Hooks. He says, good evening, BOS crew. Everyone hit that thumbs up. Yes, same with Everjeff. He says the same thing. Thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us. Eric Roseberry, Joseph Lamb, Matthew Smith, Nick D, Lego D17. Everybody's saying hello. Darren's in the house. Lance Smith is here. Stupid Fast Truck is here. Great White North Corvette is here. What's up, Andrew? Let's see. All right, we've got lots of people watching already. If you have not smashed that thumbs up button, please do so. I already know my thumbs up squad has. And thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel and you like what you've been seeing, make sure to smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. So tonight we're going to talk about, is the Stingray market changing and is supply meeting demand? And it's going to be quite the subject. Thank you so much, Derek, for the super chat. I hugely appreciate it. We're going to have a good time talking about this. I made some phone calls to the big three dealerships, and I also talk to my local dealership about their supply and demand issues. And then we're also going to talk about Corvette World. Real quick, I want to bring up my last two videos. The first was, let's see, my exhaust. So if you guys have not seen that video yet, I've got a brand new AWE exhaust, and it's pretty awesome. So you should definitely go and check that out. It's going to be linked in the description below. Also, if you have not seen my video from yesterday, it is 5 reasons GM Corvette big news is no longer exciting. You should check that out. It's also in the description after we're done here. Check those both out. And the one from yesterday is definitely going to play a part in our discussion tonight. I hope to hear from you guys about that in the chats. Also, I think you guys have probably seen this, but there's another Z06 giveaway. Thank you very much, Darren, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Actually, that's a super sticker. But yeah, there is another Z06 giveaway. This is a Z07 and it's a 70th anniversary edition of the Z06. Now this is being brought to you by the Sprint Car National Hall of Fame Museum. Now they're not going to draw for that car until next August. But the way I look at it is you buy a few tickets now, you forget. You buy a few tickets, you know, maybe in a few months, you forget about it. You buy a few tickets, you know, up maybe a month or two before they draw. And then you buy a few tickets before the actual drawing, and I don't know, maybe you have a better chance of winning. That's what I'm going to try. So next August will be here before we know it, and then you guys will have, and myself will have an opportunity to go ahead and win a fully spec'd out Z07, Z06 70th anniversary. So make sure you check that out. And then the weekly giveaway tonight is going to be this BOS G.I. Joe shirt. We have some mediums, larges, and extra larges. So when we get to the time where I'm going to give this away and I give you guys the question, then you let me know what size you are. If you're not an extra large, a large, or a medium, probably shouldn't answer the question right now. Those are the sizes that we have. But welcome everyone. I hope that you guys were having a wonderful day. I know I did. I had a great day today. I helped a friend out shoot supermodels at a giant mansion. I did drone work following the models around and helped out with lighting, and it was really cool. So look for a short about that sometime this week. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna go over one thing that I have here, and then I want to get your guys' info or feedback about it, and then I'll go into the next one, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it wasn't a boring day at all. It was a lot of fun. This is the third time I've done this, helping out a friend, and he always knows I'm willing to help out on those shoots. So anyway, the first question I have here is, what are Corvette World prices a reflection on? And is it the market or the season? And if you watch that video that I did, me and Robert talked about the C8 prices dropping. He very clearly stated that that was really due to the season. And, you know, 20s and 21s, they're getting kind of older now. And it sounds weird that my car is already, 4 years down. You know, you've got the 2020 year model, the 2021, the 2022, and the 2023. And we're coming up on the 2024. So those models aren't holding their value as well, but my car is still holding its value pretty darn good. And Corvette World pricing is based off of this season. Always when you come into the fall and winter months, sports cars, exotic cars, they're not going to do as well as in the spring through the summer. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but let's see what you guys have. Yeah, Kevin Horan says season. FJB says both. Yeah, I mean, it is both, but when you look at the 2022s and 2023s, they're not going down too much. And we didn't say this in that video, but in the month of September, they had 45 C8s at Corvette World. And in that same month, they sold 42 out of the 45. So that just goes to show you that it's not slowing down really on the sales. And the owner of Corvette World has been doing this for over 30 years, so he really knows what he's doing. He knows how to price them according to the market, and that's what he does, and he's selling them. And they are up to almost 500 C8s sold from about June of 2020 to now. So that is crazy. What's up, Greg? Glad to have you in the house. 4 years now. Wow. Yeah. Harold says it's, he says, wow, it is amazing that it's already the 4th model of the C8 Corvette. Time is absolutely flying by. So dealers' lists are not getting any shorter. I'm not going to name any names of who I talked to, but I will tell you I talked to Criswell. And that list isn't getting any shorter. It's 12 to 14 months to get a C8 still at Criswell. At Sioka, it's 15 to 16 months to get a C8 still. Last time I called them, I think they said 14 to 18 months. So not much different. McMulcom, it's 10 to 12 months to get one through them. And he said it's closer to 12 months. So that one was, I think, 12 to 14 months last time I talked to them, which was quite a while ago. So it's not changing really. My local dealership, I talked to them yesterday. He actually said they still have over 500 people on their list, which he didn't agree with. And, you know, I don't really agree with that. If you're only getting 160 to 180 allocations, why do you have 500 people on your C8 Corvette list? And that excludes Z06s. So let's see what we have in the comments so far here about this second one. I have a 23 Sting, 70th package, 8,000 miles. Wow, Otis, good work. You drive your car. That's awesome. What's up, Chris Rayleigh? Glad to have you in the house. Stupid Fast Truck says about half the country goes off the Corvette market during the winter months. That's correct. If you want to sell your car and get great value for it, wait for the spring and the summer. That's when you're going to make the most off of your Corvette. I think first year 2020 Corvette will always stand out in value. That's what Stephen Rapp said. Yeah, I mean, I love it that I have a first year Corvette. I love it that I have 18,000 miles on it. And it's still worth way more than the $76,000 that I paid for it. That is phenomenal. My 2022 took 7 months at Ciocca. That's really good, Gary. That's awesome. Let us know in the comments when you put your or when you submitted your your build to Ciocca, what month it was, and then when you got yours. Prices aren't dropping anytime soon on the C8, nor is the supply constraints. Bill Fleming, I couldn't agree more. And here's the deal. This is something that Robert brought up the other night. The thing that and actually the owner of Corvette World said this too. The thing we haven't seen yet is come January when GM announces what they're going to do with the Z06. If they're going to go ahead and start producing more Z06s than the 291 number, or if they're going to have to wait for the 2024 year model and not start producing them till about April or May of 2023. That's going to play a huge factor and role in how these C8s continue to stay around what they're at or go up in value. Lego D says, ordered September 19th, went to 3,000 status September 26th. Wow, where's this at? That's absolutely incredible. It's 3 to 5 years waiting list for C8 here in Australia. Yeah, that's what you were telling me, Chris. That's crazy, man. I wonder if it's the same way in Canada. Let us know, Andrew, if we've got the same kind of waiting list in Canada. Let's see. Lance Smith says, Matthew, my order went in end of September and I have the same TPW. So Matthew, let's see. Matthew, I put on the list July 30th. Got my allocation the end of September and my TPW is 1121. Congratulations, Matthew. Congratulations, Lance. That's awesome. Bill Fleming says, I'm with Rick Connie. I'm expecting 15 to 18 months, but I'm in zero hurry. Yeah, I mean, that's what the typical dealership is going to tell you, 15 to 18 months. I'll get to my last comment on here that talks about there are some exceptions to the rule, and I'll talk about that at the end. All right, let's move on to number 3. Stingrays aren't getting to the customer any quicker than they did a year ago. What do you guys think about that? Again, there are exceptions to the rule, but I think for the most part, they aren't. I feel like, especially with all of the shutdowns that we've had just in the last few months, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they are, except for maybe some exceptions. Derek Taylor says, not true. I don't know if you're commenting on what I just stated, but yeah, I think it is mostly because of parts. Derek Taylor says he's got his in 9 months. That's still a little while if you think about it. I mean, 9 months is still quite a while to wait for a car. But it is a lot less than 12 to 14 or 15 to 16 months. So yeah, that's awesome. 1 month at status 3,000. Wow. Are you at a big dealership or a rural dealership? I'd be really interested to know there, Desmond. I put in my order January and got mine delivered in about 3 weeks ago. Okay. So it took about 10 months, right at 10 months. Not bad at all. I waited 10 months, picked it up in April of 21 and paid MSRP. Hey, and that's another thing. I'm glad you said MSRP because the dealerships that I talked to are all MSRP dealerships. I really didn't want to bring up dealerships that aren't because most of you aren't interested in a over MSRP dealership. Sorry, I can't get my words out. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 4. What are people seeing or hearing that make them think you can more easily obtain a C8 Stingray these days? Well, you guys have already answered this partially, but are there any other people out there that would comment that you're seeing maybe friends, family members, or even yourself getting deliveries faster than even 9 months? I mean, 6 to 8 months. Is anybody seeing that out there? I've seen it a couple of times with some rural dealerships. In fact, my neighbor Mark back last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year, put in at a rural dealership on like the middle or end of May, and he had his car by the beginning of October. So very quick delivery there. I don't know. I got my 23 same day. Otis, does that mean that you paid over MSRP? John P says 19-month wait. Yep. My order is at a smaller dealer and less than 5 allocations a year. So that could be a good thing and that could be a very bad thing. It depends on how many people are on their list and how often they get those allocations. Would it be every couple of months they get 1 allocation? Let us know. All right, let's move on to number 5. If you are currently waiting on a C8 Corvette, how long have you been waiting? And how much longer do you think you will have to wait to get yours? Some of these questions, you guys are doing an excellent job of already answering. So thank you so much for, I mean, you guys are just amazing. Thank you so much for these great comments. Let's see. I switched to my final dealer in August and TPW is 11/21. Yeah, and Lance, I think you told me that they did a really, like a special deal for you. Let me know if that's not correct. Front seat driver did get his pretty quick. I think he had to pay over MSRP, but I'm not sure. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you know about that. There are dealers out there who are allowing you, if you pay over MSRP, you can jump ahead of the line if you're willing to do that, plus give them extra money to jump the line. I don't know exactly how it all works, but yeah, Frank, I agree. That is crazy that GM would give you silver lug nuts for a $12,000 carbon fiber wheel. It's hilarious to me that they would give you silver lug nuts for a black wheel that's $500. If you're giving me a black wheel, give me black lug nuts. But they're trying to make the extra bucks a la carte with these things, and that's why they're doing that. But it is frustrating. No doubt about it. So the last thing is there are exceptions to the rule, like rural dealerships, but these are few and far between and don't really count in figuring these statistics out. So if you guys have dealerships that are, you know, 4 to 5 months getting you these I'm sorry, not Z06s, C8s, the Stingrays, that's really awesome, but those really don't count because for the most part, that isn't going to happen. For the most part, you're going to wait at least 10 to 12 months if not, a year and a half to maybe even 2 years on your Stingray. So, all right, let's go over some of these comments you guys have been putting in here. Let's see. Let's scroll up here. By the way, what did you guys think of my reasons that people are, not excited about the Corvette anymore, especially the big news with Z06s? I'm trying not to really do much Z06 content. If there's something really big and crazy that comes out, I'll definitely report it to you guys. But I know the people are just not excited about talking about that anymore. You guys are still excited about talking about the Stingray, and I am too, because for the most part, GM has stayed pretty consistent with around 25 to 26,000 Stingrays out there every year. And, we've got over 70,000 Stingrays on the road now. So we're starting to, the market is being saturated a lot more than it was a couple years ago. However, as the title stated, are we catching up to demand? And that's really what I wanted to get to. I don't think we are. I really don't think we're going to catch up to demand anytime soon. I think Chevy projected that they needed to build 35 to 40,000 C8 Corvettes to really be able to meet demand. Because the first year that they put this car out, they had over 40,000 orders, and they were only able to build about 21 to 22,000 that year. So they were never able to meet any kind of demand with the Stingray, and they still haven't. Oh, I know, Greg. I know you're still super excited, and I'm excited for whenever mine comes. I don't know when that's going to be. It could be next summer. It could be earlier than that. I don't know. I just want to drive it. I want to get in the car. I want to experience the Z06. I am a Z06 guy. Right now I have a Stingray, but I really, really cannot wait to be able to drive that new Z06. Yeah, the price gouging is just off the charts. And as I've stated before, I don't disagree with all dealerships not charging over MSRP. If they have always been a dealership that charges over MSRP and they're not trying to pull a fast one on you, they're not saying, you know what, we're not charging over MSRP, give us your deposit, and then a year later changing their minds, then that's one thing. But most of these dealerships did bait and switch. They allowed us to put our deposits down. They said they weren't going to charge over MSRP, and then they changed their minds and decided to do it. And that's what hurts. That's what should not be allowed to happen. They should have to stick with their word. But, most people don't do that these days. Thank you, Paul. I hugely appreciate it. Pepster's Garage says, I was on 2 different lists for 10 months. They told me I had to wait another 10 more months. Ended up buying a car that was on the lot for $10,000 over MSRP. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to wait, don't feel bad if you have the money to go out and pay over MSRP to get your car now. I'm going to tell you right now, in 2016, the very end of 2016, I was turning 37 that next year, and I wasn't getting any younger. I know I was still pretty young, but I told my wife, I said, you know what? I have the money to buy a Corvette. I'm not getting any younger. I haven't owned a Corvette since I was 28 years old. I really want another Corvette. Who knows what's going to happen in my life? I'm going to buy one. And I'm glad I did, because it started my journey with YouTube and all of you, and I couldn't do this without any of you guys and your support. I appreciate it so much. But I bought that car. I didn't wait. I did search for about 4 or 5 months till I found what I thought was perfect. But I didn't wait, because you never know. You could not wake up the next day, and then you didn't take advantage of being able to own, this amazing car. So there's a lot of people out there that have patience, and that's fine. I have patience myself. I'm having to have patience with the Z06. But if you can afford to walk into a place like Corvette World and pay over MSRP, or walk into your local dealership that has a brand new car on their lot for 10 or 15,000 over, do it. It's not going to harm you. A lot of people actually made out like bandits starting from 2020 till about now, paying over MSRP because they still had a car that was worth more than they had paid, even though they paid over MSRP. In fact, real quick story, in November of 2020 at Corvette World, a gentleman bought a 3LT Z51 convertible from the owner at Corvette World for, I think it was like $105,000, maybe $110,000. And he owned it for 6 months. No, longer than 6 months. He owned it for 8 months. Brought it back to Corvette World, traded it in, and the owner had to give him a check. Okay? He paid well over MSRP for that car. The owner had to write that gentleman a check for his C8 Corvette because it had gone up in value even more than what he had paid over MSRP. That's what's happened this whole time. So pretty crazy. All right, let's get to some more questions here and comments. Let me go back to where we were. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you so much. If you're in here and you have not smashed that thumbs up button, I see we have 94 thumbs up with 220 watching. Please do me a big favor, smash it. It really lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the content and helps push this out on YouTube so more people can watch it. All right, let's see. The Sting launch is unreal. Nobody comes close to the launch. Then I hit the button, see ya. If you're talking about the 0 to 60 launch, you are correct. It is unbelievable. Took me days to go to GM's site to price out my Z07. Not excited as I was. Kevin Horan. Yeah, I mean, it took me a few days to get on there. I priced mine out too. I wasn't excited because I've already priced it out with that other tool that was on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. So not a big deal to me either. It was nice to see everything in front of me, but not that big of a deal. Are the Z06 that are built still on QC hold? John Belk wants to know. That's actually a really good question. I would assume yes. They're probably going to hold them for as long as they held the new Stingrays, which was, I think, right at a month or 3 weeks, because they definitely don't want something to leave the lot that has issues, even though it still could. Elijah Ray, what's up, man? He says the Stingray is where we can all relate. It's realistic. Yes, I totally agree. Bruce wants to know, what's your opinion as to why they won't increase production? It's all parts. It's a big parts issue thing. I do know that one of their big companies that supplied them went out of business. I think that's Stephen Rapp. Stephen Rapp, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see, it says, I really hate the list deal. Dealers are less trusted, and who knows if they are being honest. I couldn't agree more with you, Stephen. Especially, you know, like I said, my local dealership, they get like 160 to 180 allocations a year, and they had like 650 people on their list. Another example is Sioka. Sioka gets like 1,000 to 1,500 allocations a year, and they had 5,000 people on their Z06 list alone. That's Stingrays and Z06s that they get 1,000 to 1,500 allocations. They have 5,000 just for the Z06. It's not right. I don't agree with it. It gives people false hope, and they're just taking a bunch of people's money and holding on to it for no reason. Let's see. Again, you guys are absolutely incredible. Thanks for smashing the thumbs up button. I see they went up by a lot, so thank you so much. Mick Molcomb was so much better than dealers in New Jersey, which have all sorts of documentation and advertising charges. Really? That's good. I've heard a lot of great things about Mick Molcomb. Thank you for letting us know that. Howard says, do you think 5K over MSRP is a bad deal to get a 2023 HTC on a dealership lot? I do not. I would actually pay that. You know, if I was in a hurry, I didn't want to wait, and I found the spec that I loved and it was on a dealership lot for 5K over MSRP, I would pay that just like that. I would not think twice about it at all. Let's see. Yeah, Kevin says it sounds good to him too. Otis says, I don't care. I just wanted to do the longest burnout. LOL, 45 seconds till it shuts down. Wow. Jay says, I drove 151 miles an hour on the Monticello Straight for my 76th birthday. I really couldn't wait. Great track, but I had to be the guest of a member. Monticello, that is a cool track. That's over in Europe, right? Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Navy Blue. I appreciate I guess that's a super chat. Thank you so much. Very generous. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and throw it in there. I'd be happy to answer it for you. Let's see. What's the time like? We've got, okay, we're about 7:30 p.m. Awesome. Yeah, Scott White says, by the way, welcome, Scott White. Sorry, I'm just now seeing you for the first time in here. Yes, no additional charges at McMulcom. My order had to be a Z51 or a non-Z51 with mag ride, and I chose the Z51. Z51 is great. I have mag ride with mine, but I've driven a Z51 without mag ride, and it's fine. Let's see. We just got a call from McMulcom. This is Janice Murphy. We are processing now. Sioka is playing games. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the major differences are between Sioka and when it used to be Kerbeck. I know that the general manager for Kerbeck is still the general manager, or the general sales manager is still the general sales manager of Sioka. Oh, wow. Otis says he beat a Z06 with a 150 dry shot, cheap upgrade to save. I bet. That's awesome, man. I've met one other person in the DFW that has nitrous on their C8. That's cool. Derek Taylor says, is Corvette World not allowing out-of-towners from buying from them? No, Corvette World hugely accepts out-of-towners. In fact, that's a lot of their business. They ship cars all the time, and they have people fly in from out of town all the time to pick up their Corvettes. Plus, they buy from out of town all the time. People trade in their cars from out of town. Let's see. Faulkner Chevrolet in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania is MSRP. Awesome. Let's see. Novi Blue says, I met you guys at Carlisle. Had the 6 Vet Garage from Canada. Awesome. Yeah, I think I remember you showing us pictures of that. But it's always great meeting people at Carlisle. If you guys haven't been to Corvettes of Carlisle, you're missing out. It happens every August, towards the end of August. There's 5,000 vets. I'm there every year that I can be there. I should be there next year, and we just have a blast. Let's see. Stupid Fast Truck says, my dealer didn't even, I think you're meaning to say, didn't even require a deposit till he had an allocation. Yeah, actually a lot of dealerships are like that. I've got a couple that I'm on a list for the Z06, and they have not asked me for a deposit. They said as soon as they call me to order my Z06, that's when I'll give them a deposit. So, what's up, Robert? Robert from Corvette World is in the house. 40% of our monthly business comes from out of state. There you go. He just confirmed what I was already stating. Let's see. What are the differences? New Angle Photo and Video says, what are the differences in the Z51 with or without mag ride? Very easy. Anytime you have mag ride, when you change from tour mode to sport, you're going to notice a difference in how smooth your ride is. And it gets smoother going down to tour from sport. It gets a little bumpier going up to sport, and when you go to track, it gets even bumpier. Z51 is a stiffer suspension, so it's going to be a little bit more bumpy in tour than a non-Z51. But with the mag ride, it softens that up big time. Same with sport, same with track. So basically, a non-Z51, or I'm sorry, a Z51 without mag ride is going to feel a little bit more bumpy, but it's still going to be a very smooth ride. So that's the best way I can explain it. C8 Kerbeck was charging $1,000 over MSRP. You sure about that? Kerbeck has always charged MSRP. Are you just talking about $1,000 for a deposit? Because I think that's what they were doing. Awesome. Scott White said he just made his hotel reservation for Carlisle 2023. This will be his first time going. Sweet. You're going to love it. Does Corvette World have a list for a Z06? They do not. The owner is pretty sure they're not going to be getting any Z06s anytime soon, even once they start building them at the first of the year. It's really going to depend on a few things, and I'll let you talk to Corvette World about that. Desmond says, love Corvette World, thanks to Mike. Hey, no problem, man. It is my pleasure to go in there. You guys know the reason why I love going there is because where else can you walk into a dealership and have 30 to 50 vets to show you guys? Sometimes they have a lot less than that, but where else can you get that? You know, I get to show you guys all different generations. I get to show you guys pricing. It's fun. I've been going there since 2016. I bought 2 Corvettes from there. They've always treated me absolutely amazing, and they treat all their customers the exact same way. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Newts. Sioka is telling me there is currently a factory non-Z51 constraint. Is this true? Just went to build and am stuck waiting again. Yeah, I think the Z51, I'm sorry. You must be talking about the mag ride. So yeah, it sounds like the FE3, I'm sorry, the FE2 on the non-Z51 is under constraint again. You can still get the FE3 on the Z51, just not the FE2. Yeah, Andrew, Carlisle is always a blast. I hope you guys get to come next year. I know loan approvals are getting harder and harder, especially on used cars, but that would be a question for Marty. So give Marty a call up at Corvette World and ask him. You can also ask Robert. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. What do we have coming in now? How does Corvette World get all of their inventory? Do sellers reach out? So their C7 inventory, they get a lot of trade-ins, and they also buy from individuals out of state that just want to sell them. Sometimes he gets them from the auction. The C8 is a little bit different. I don't think he's bought a single C8 from the auction. A lot of those come from people just flipping them. They go, they pick up their car, they call Corvette World, they ask them how much they would give them. If they give them the right amount, they take it to Corvette World and they sell it to Corvette World. I don't know of too many people. I know there are people that trade in their older C8s, their 2020s and 2021s, and they upgrade to a something else. But that's how they get a lot of their C8s, is with people just buying them and flipping them to Corvette World. Okay, so we're getting close to, let's see, it's 7:40. Let's go ahead and give a shirt away. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it is this G.I. Joe BOS shirt in extra large, large, and medium. So get ready, guys. It's whose comment that is correct that I see on my screen. There's a delay. So what you guys see on your screen is going to be different from my screen. So I have a question for you. If you've watched my channel for a long time now, you're going to know this answer, and that's the only ones that are going to really know this answer, but you can guess. So I owned a 2009 C6 Z06, and it had a lot of engine work done to it, and it was putting out a lot of horsepower. So let me know what my horsepower to the rear wheels were on my 2009 black C6 Z06. Go. And this is not to the engine. This is to the rear wheels. By the way, it was naturally aspirated. There was no turbos. There was no supercharger. Wow, we got a lot of stuff coming in. No one has gotten it yet. Someone's gotten semi-close, but no one's gotten the right answer yet. Ooh, somebody just got real close. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end it. If somebody gets the exact right answer, then I'll give it to them, but it's ended now. So I'm going to scroll back up because someone got 1 horsepower away from the correct answer. And it was Mr. Mike K. Congratulations, Mike. You said 575 to the rear wheels. It was 576 to the rear wheels. So hopefully you are a medium, large, or extra large. I think you won a couple weeks ago. Let me know in the comments, but I think you just won a shirt. Man, you're good. Yeah, let me know what size you need. If you've already emailed me, I'll be able to find it in my email, but shoot me an email if you haven't to this right here. There we go. That's your third time? Holy cow. Bro, good work. I knew you had won before. I didn't know this was your third win. Wow. All right. Well, again, congratulate. Hey, do you already have this shirt? Because if you already have this shirt, I can send you something else. Let me know if you've got it. Stupid Fast Truck says a shirt for half the week. Exactly, because he's got 3 shirts. Yeah, Greg, that was a bittersweet car for me. I absolutely loved it when it was, performing. But when it stopped, or, when I had any issues with it and it was in the shop a lot, it was a pain in my butt. So, yeah, it was quite a pain. By the way, we've got 141 thumbs up. There's still 181 people in here. If you have not smashed that thumbs up, please do so, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Like I said, I could not do this without you guys. And by the way, we will be getting back to the studio look. Right now, we're in a transition phase. We're wanting to make sure that once we do get back to that studio look, that it's absolutely perfect. We don't have any interruptions. We don't have any, pauses in the lives like we did a couple weeks ago. We want absolutely 0 problems for you guys. So we're really getting it perfected before we go back to that. So you're probably going to see me here at the house, maybe back at Corvette World, maybe other locations. I'm not sure, but and it won't always be me by myself. It won't always be me, Mark, and Darren. So just wanted to let you guys know that. I'm not going to keep you guys any more tonight because we've had an excellent discussion. There's no real reason to go any longer. I appreciate all of your wonderful comments, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for participating like you guys always do. If you're new to the channel and you have not joined the wonderful Brinkofspeed community, please do me a favor and smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you guys next time on Octane Hour. Good night, everyone.